Hi, I'm Doug Holland, owner and instructor at the Holland Reflexology Institute in Ohio. I have a reflexology tip for you and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, now we're going to discuss how to work the trapezius reflex. There are many different trapezius movements. We have anterior, posterior, but there's about 3 or 4 different exercises, so we're going to start at one at a time. First, we're going to start with working the anterior aspect, and we call this the trapezius ridge or the trapezius walk, or walking the ridge. Walking the ridge is what I came up with because if you look at this part of the foot, the anatomical structure of the foot, this is where the anterior trapezius lies, right through here. Now we know that the toes also are incorporated in anterior trapezius, posterior trapezius, but if we're looking at the plantar aspect, on the plantar aspect we see there's a ridge here. That ridge, I want to walk that ridge, and I want to get between each and every one of these bones where the phalanx meets the metatarsal head. Okay? So we want to get in there. This can be quite painful to a new person. So when we first walk the ridge on somebody new, we kind of want to just scour the surface. But as we get a more advanced client, we want to get deeper and deeper in between these metatarsal bones. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the holding hand, similar to what I'm doing, just to stabilize the foot. Find a comfortable way of holding this foot so that it remains stable. We don't want to see any abduction or adduction of the foot, any articulation of it side to side. We simply want the foot stable. Now, I'm going to take the working hand. I'm going to take the thumb of the working hand, and I'm going to start at the most lateral aspect of the foot, right on the bony protrusion of the 5th metatarsal head. See, there's that little bone. I'm going to stick it right in there. Then I'm going to begin to walk. This is one of the very few times you will not see me wrenching my wrist. Notice I'm not wrenching my wrist because I have a new person here. So I have a new person, so I'm just basically using my thumb. If I was to wrench my wrist and drive, we're going to get a way worse reaction on the end of the client. You're going to get really deep into the subcutaneous layer. So we're just going to simply walk the ridge, nice and gently, okay? And that way we're striking the anterior aspect of the trapezius. That's walking the ridge. I only work medial or lateral to medial. Lateral to medial. On either foot, it doesn't matter. Lateral to medial. You're never going to come back this way because it's just too uncomfortable for the hand. I mean, you can do it, but see how the hallux is getting in my way? Bang, bang. That's a pain in the butt. So what we're going to do is we are going to walk the ridge from lateral to medial. And the more experienced you are and the more experienced your client is, I want to see you get very deep to the base of that, the most proximal place of those phalanxes. I want you to be deep in those phalanxes, actually between each of the toes, to the point where you're down in between these toes, way in there when you're walking the ridge. So it won't be just simply going lateral to medial. You'll be going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way until you get to the hallux. Now, since we're on the anterior aspect of the trapezius, let's go ahead and we'll demonstrate anterior trapezius up and anterior trapezius down. Let's start with anterior trapezius up. Now, for the sake of the camera, I have to work opposite hands. So I'm going to put my holding hand here and make sure there's a firm hold on these, and I'm going to work with my thumb. I'm going to start at the base of the ridge, and I'm going to work up the toe, just walking my thumb to the very top. Now notice I went straight up the medium plane. The medium plane or medial plane, either way you want to say it. But I'm working right up the medium plane of that toe to the most distal aspect. Now I can start on the medial side or the lateral side. I'm trying to do this for the camera, it's not easy. The lateral side of this toe, and I can get even a greater reaction. But for our starters, let's just focus. I'm going to try to pull this one toe back so you can see. Let's just focus on working the medial or the most plantar surface of this toe. All the way up. Then we're going to make sure we work each and every toe all the way across. Now normally I do it this way. I use this hand. Let me see if I can try to do it. I use this thumb and this hand all the way up. See how that blood gets to the very most distal aspect? Isn't that great? And then I'll come all the way across to the top. And I'll do the next toe all the way up to the top. And I'll do the next toe all the way to the top. and I'll do the next toe all the way to the top. Now I'm going very fast here. But again, you can go medial, center, lateral, medial, center, lateral, medial, center, lateral on all them when you get a more advanced client. Now, let's do anterior trapezius down. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to hold the feet, and I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to work my way down. Now this time I'm using more of a wrist motion. You notice that? See, I'm not just walking my thumb down. I'm actually wrenching my wrist to aid the thumb as I go down the toes. Okay, all the way down. Now I'm using a little bit of pressure to demonstrate, and of course the client here is feeling it and jerking their foot, but that makes it more realistic when you have somebody that's new to reflexology. Okay, so again, as a recap for anterior, we have the ridge. Okay, we have the ridge. We have anterior up and anterior down. So do we have that? Good. Now we're going to focus on going over to